Welcome to another edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline at Atria's PNC Park. Boy, it's a rainy snow mix. I can't believe the crowd here. Thanks for coming out to the show. I hope it wasn't too hard to find being at PNC Park. Come across the Clemente Bridge, 103 Federal Street's the address. We've been doing the show for over a year and a half here, so we appreciate you coming out. And we start our show with What's on Your Mind. And we have a sponsor for that segment. It's Skeets Lewandowski's Service Station. So Skeets Service Station sponsors What's on Your Mind. They fix everything that runs on gas, from weed whackers to trucks, cars, boats, snowmobiles, you name it, I've seen it. Skeets has been on our show many times. He's a boxer, boxing coach, trainer, official, you name it with boxing, he does it. He even holds a bucket for people to spit in. But check out Skeets Service Station. It's in Finleyville. It's about 7 miles from my house. They have a buffet on Monday mornings with donuts from Bethel Bakery and other assorted foods. So check it out. And we're going to start our show in a second or two. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine. Smoking Jim Frazier is my co-host. We're seeing this show will be rebroadcast. We film it like it's live, so no swearing. We don't have that. I'm looking at a couple of you. I don't know if I'm having you on here. You look like you want to talk a lot. I'll ask the questions, and we'll just go on through this. If it's your first interview, don't raise your hand, and we'll just go through it like you've done it before. We'll have some fun. We're on Facebook. We hit 6,400 likes again. We've been hitting it the last month and then slipping down the 6,395 and then bouncing up to 6,400. If you see Pittsburgh Sportsline Facebook and you have a smartphone, I can see when we get a couple likes now because I did get this smartphone last year, so I'm aware of it. And we take photos of our guests. When they come up to do an interview, I'll have Devin, our cameraman. He does camera work and all kinds of other things. I'll hand him my phone and he'll take a photo of each guest that's here. And at the end of the show, except for Jody and her daughter, they'll be gone. We'll film everybody that's here that's going to be on the show. So we'll have some fun with that. And why don't we just get started with the show right now? Smoking Jim Frazier, what's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. And if you want the green,
here, don't break it.
You got to see Levine. I want to thank everybody for coming out. If you haven't done so already, do yourself a favor, grab a menu, because the only burger I like better than a Roethlisberger is the Talking Machine Big Mouth Burger.
Thanks, buddy.
I tell you what, the Pittsburgh Steelers had an awesome year this year. They're a young team. They should be back and win a Super Bowl over the next couple of years. The only problem I see with the Pittsburgh Steelers, when Bill Cowher was the coach, he had defensive coaches like Dom Capers, Jim Haslett, Marvin Lewis, Dick LeBeau. Coach Tomlin got Keith Butler that couldn't spell cat if you spotted him a C and a T. You got Joey Porter that's a better cage fighter than he is a coach. You got Todd Haley that's the worst red zone coach in NFL history. Listen, I'm sick and tired of losing to New England, Brady, and Belichick. Listen, Olivia Pope couldn't handle their scandal. New England got a scandal here, a scandal there, a scandal everywhere. You cannot beat New England in their quarterback with a soft zone. You know, the only how you beat Tom Shady Brady is to sack him, put pressure on him, hit him, and hurt him. Because if you don't, he'll play with no fear. Yesterday, he had no fear of Silverback. He had no fear of Bud Dupree. He had no fear of Shazier. And Tom Brady is living proof that we're all only born with three fears. The fear of heights, the fear of loud noises, and the fear of gateway.
Are you done? Smoking Jim's a known entertainer. He's an NFL scout. He's a Steelers scout. He's a model scout. He does all kinds of other things. He's even a boxing announcer. But he's just an entertainer here. And that gateway part, try to scratch that off of there. Dave Cable is going to do the editing. That gateway doesn't matter. Then they dropped down a couple divisions, and they haven't won lately, and their coach got fired a few years ago, and now he's somewhere else. And he's your best friend. He's been on the show. Well, I don't have as much entertainment value that he does, but I watched the Steeler game. I predicted they'd be 12-4, change in the middle of the season when they were 4-5, and I predicted 9-7. Well, then, after they won a couple games, people kept asking me, what do you think? So before Aaron Rodgers said they'd run the table, we won 3 games, I said we'd run the table, and we're going all the way. After watching the game, I'm a huge Steeler fan. I bleed black and gold all the time. It was so disappointing seeing them play that zone and let Brady pick them apart. There was no rush. One rush up the middle. Hargrave got in there once. I don't know what happened. And then Le'Veon got hurt. He hurt that groin. Now we're going to get investigated because you got to report injuries all during the year. Sherman for Seattle, they forgot to say that he was injured all year. Now they're investigating Seattle because they like to cheat on that. All teams give you false injury reports or don't even report the stuff. But now Le'Veon dropped a dime on himself and the team. So now we got something else to worry about. James Harrison at 38. I think a couple injuries caught up to him. I think when he went to work out after the Steelers win, he might have strained that shoulder. And where was he having the guys hold him on the edge? I didn't see that. They blocked him with no problem. It was terrible watching the game because I had the feeling that 10-0, that was it. Then when they got down to the half-a-foot line and got that call because he didn't miss it, the replay worked against us. How do you go backwards on each play? And then, how big is Big Ben? 6'4", 260? I mean, he's right behind Pouncey. All you got to do is fall forward. That's enough to get 6 inches, 12 inches. But they didn't do that. I've never been a Haley fan, so I'm not going to talk poorly about him like Smokin' Jim. Smokin' Jim hangs out around the Steelers and sucks up to all these guys. So he takes abuse on them when he's out here in the public, putting the show out like this. But I've never been a fan of Haley. He never played football. His dad was a great guy. He was a golfer. So, I mean, he lived right in the community right next to us in Upper St. Clair. And by the way, our show's seen on Comcast 7 only in Bethel Park, Verizon 32 everywhere in the Pittsburgh area. So after Wednesday, the show will be up on TV. And then I do a thing where I post the link on Pittsburgh Sportsline. So I had to interrupt what's on my mind because I was looking at these guys and they're being so nice listening. They especially liked what you were saying, Smokin' Jim. So save that script for another day. You want to thank them?
It's a black thing.
I can't believe you bring out the race card, and we've only been doing this about 6-7 minutes. Usually you wait a little bit. I don't see any of that race card. I call him my Ed McMahon. He tells me I'm Johnny Carson. I just call him Ed McMahon. I don't say he's the black Ed McMahon because everybody can tell. Look at that smile and what a nice guy he is. And he brought you all out tonight on a rainy, snowy mix. You got some secret powers, whether they're black or not. I don't know.
Tony.
I got to accept it. I got to accept it. My dad refereed basketball in the City League forever at Ozanam and every little place, from grade school to high school. He did it all in the 60s, 70s, and he retired in the early 80s, so I appreciate that. Man, we got to stop the show. This is the burger. You got to order a couple. Definitely. We've done over 400 shows.
I know.
And there's no competition.
I'm a vet.
We welcome everybody. You've been on the show half a dozen times at least. I brought the book in, Slick Move Guide.
Thank you.
I read it. It's a great book. She's an award-winning author. Smokin' Jim doesn't know the name of the book. They're good business partners.
He probably doesn't.
He doesn't. He tried to read it and he gave it back to me.
Aww.
But you've come out with, yeah, I know. I gave it to
The
people.
moving season is coming up, so it's a money-saving guide. If you're moving, you have to get it. It has the best tips in the world, and it's been
For what?
selling- For moving. It's been
That's
selling
what they
on-
need to know.
It's been selling on Amazon since 2008. Every month. continuous
Congratulations.
Continuous sales, because it saves you money, because it has little tips and tricks in it that will save you money when you move. And it tells you what to watch out for so that you don't make big mistakes.
Just little mistakes.
Just little ones. No.
Very good.
You won't make any mistakes. If
Oh, I know. People have used it and they love it.
I know. And you promote it all the time. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, enough of that. What are you here tonight for?
I'm here. I'm going to get a burger. That's like amazing.
Get your orders in.
Listen, I am here tonight because
Delicious.
my daughter was asked to be on your show.
Who asked her?
Smoking Jim. She has some good information though tonight because she's going to speak
And
about
tell us her name.
Lana Velasquez. She had the same last name as me. Lana Velasquez.
Is she doing that Facebook Live or Instagram Live
She
over
is.
there?
I think she has us on Instagram Live right now. Yes.
This is a first for Pittsburgh Sportsline. They want us to do podcasts. We have a TV show.
yeah.
Our TV show's on every Tuesday night through Saturday night, 7 o'clock to 8.
Wow. That's awesome.
So
That's awesome.
we don't want a podcast. We'll go with the Instagram. You can forward it to Alan Levine, the Talking Machine. That's my handle on Instagram. They told me you need small names and all that.
You said no way.
I said no
That's
way.
my name.
Yeah, I go by that. And some people said they heard of me before. So,
Wow, so you're getting famous.
well, Smoking Jim keeps talking about me,
He does.
and he knows thousands of people. It's for real.
I don't want to take up too much time because you have awesome guests here tonight that really need to speak. And my daughter is going to talk about Barbizon. But thank you so much for having me.
Okay, can I ask her a couple questions?
Heck yeah.
All right.
Yeah, get Lana.
All right, welcome to the show. Please tell me your name again. I'm getting hard of hearing with that yelling that Smoking Jim Frazier does.
Lana Velasquez.
Okay, you may have to speak up a little bit. Did you hear her all right, Devin? Okay, we're good. All right, now, did you ever play sports?
Yeah, I actually have. I did cheerleading for 12 years, and I'm actually a dancer now, and I've been dancing at the same studio for 3 years.
When did you start?
I want to say 8th
Just
grade.
say it.
8th grade about.
Okay.
I was probably 12 or 13 when I started.
Did you play any other sports? Because cheerleading, I've had the cheerleaders and the heads of cheerleaders tell me it's a sport, so I agree. Did you play any soccer or anything in the neighborhood, or?
I
No
haven't.
interest?
No, not at all, actually.
Well, that's all right. You're one of the 3% that come on my show, and they either don't follow sports, or never played sports. It's rare, especially in Pittsburgh. Do you follow the Steelers at all?
Yeah, I do.
Are you a fan?
Yes, I am.
Oh, so you like the black and gold.
Yes, I do.
What about Penguins?
Yeah, kinda. I don't really follow a lot of hockey, though.
No, all right, get the fuck out of here. We'll pass that. What about the Pirates?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we found that out. Do you go see some games?
Sometimes with my grandparents, but, not really.
Once in a while.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for answering these questions because this is a sports show. Smoking Jim stretches the limits on the show. I got to bring it back to its sports conversation. So, how'd I do?
You did well,
All right.
honestly.
Now, what are you supposed to talk about here?
I think I'm supposed to talk about modeling here.
Smoking Jim Frazier? He broke the rules. All right, can you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, of course.
Who do you work for?
Barbizon Modeling Agency.
Where are they at?
They are located in New York, but they have a bunch of different corporations based around Pittsburgh area.
I've heard of them. I know some other people
Really?
that have modeled for them over the years.
Yeah, definitely. Me and my sister, we just kind of wanted something.
What's her name?
Marlo.
Thank
to just,
you.
start out and kind of get our names out there, and we couldn't find any other way to do it. So we got approached at the mall, and they offered us to work with Barbizon. It was a lot of money, though, and I didn't really expect it to be such a, what's the word I'm looking for, productive course. You know, I went in there thinking that I was going to learn just a few simple tasks, but I came out learning way more than I ever expected.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's been surprising, and you've been taking modeling shots all over the city and
Oh, yeah.
elsewhere?
Yeah,
Really?
definitely.
What's the
crazy.
latest you've done?
The latest I've done is actually just graduate Barbizon. I haven't gotten any jobs recently. They do email me from time to time and ask me to come out to different locations, but you know, you either get the job or you don't. But I'm just
Well, you're in
kinda-
competition with other people.
Oh, of course I am. It's like a huge
I
competition.
didn't want to leave that alone.
It's a huge competition, but you just really gotta want it. That's like the main thing.
you want it?
Of course.
All right, the next email you're going to.
What was that?
The next email they send, you're going to the place where they're going to
Of course
put you
I
in
am.
line.
Yeah, of course. You know, like first come, first serve kind of deal.
What kind of modeling would you like to do?
Well, to be completely honest, I'm not that into modeling. I just kind of did it for the acting. The modeling came along with it, which was very nice.
All right, let's talk acting. What do you want to act in?
I want to do films one day, maybe commercials.
There's a lot
here
of
and there.
films in the area. I know tons of people that have been in movies. I even was in a couple movies. I was in the movie Concussion.
Oh, yeah.
They had me dress up as a lawyer and sit there 12 hours. But I'm actually in the third row, and you can see me right before Will Smith starts talking as the doctor, because as I moved up, I saw that they were filming across that way, and there's a window, and you can see it's white. Well, I'm right in front of it.
Wow.
So,
Oh my God.
So I got my 20 seconds of fame.
Yeah, I hope that 20 seconds comes from me someday.
There you go. Well, are you pursuing acting at all?
I'm trying. You know, I get commercials. I practice. With Barbizon, I practice monologues, commercials. I did everything I could with the time I had.
What kind of commercials did you do?
You know, just simple out of the Barbizon book, like basic, very basic things. You know, it wasn't anything I'd like to see myself doing, but it was a good foundation.
Well, you need the education,
Of course, of course.
and then you can move forward, hopefully.
Yeah. I hope to move forward.
Well, it sounds good. You got anything else you want to put out there about it?
Oh yeah. I'd say
I'm listening.
if anybody really wants to do Barbizon, it's something you gotta want more than anything. It's a lot of hours. I spent over 48 hours doing it, 8 hours each Saturday and Sunday. It takes a lot of dedication, and it's really no joke. If you want to pursue acting, if you want to pursue modeling, you gotta really push yourself into that. You gotta be prepared to face no's more than yeses, and I think that's really important.
Well, I appreciate you giving that knowledge out there and trying to pump people up that
Yeah.
if they want it, to go do it.
Yeah.
Don't even think about it. Just get out there and go to Barbizon.
Exactly. You got to bring a good energy.
Stay positive. Well, that's what I'm about here. So you came to the right place, even though Smoking Jim slipped you under the modeling category.
Of course he would.
I know, he's a rule breaker. I don't know how it happens. Well, that's it we have for you then.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
You're welcome, and good luck in the future. Hope
Thank
you get
you.
that next commercial that comes out nearby.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
You too.
Welcome back to the show, Bob. We just had you about a month ago.
It is always great to be here. It's a pleasure. It's an honor. And I'd be on every week if I could.
Hey, we might save a spot for you in the studio, our Tuesday night show.
I might be available to do that too.
We'll have to work on that. We'll talk after the show. Maybe we can slip you in as one of our co-hosts.
Anytime but tomorrow. Any
All right,
Tuesday
you're
but
on
tomorrow.
then. You're on.
Oh, geez,
Let's start talking sports.
I had my one shot. If you want to talk sports, first thing I want to know. I want to interrupt.
Go ahead.
I want to interrupt Hungry over there. I want to know how you really feel about the Steelers and their coaches and everything. Geez, oh man, I almost fell off the stool over there.
When he opens up, he tells that same story about the coaches and who should be gone and Tomlin's no coach.
Well, he opens up all right, that's for sure. I want to know what happens when you get down to the south side and walk into the office. I don't know how you get away with that. That's what I want to know.
They get him a steak on draft day. He eats a steak or two.
Well, I'm sure he eats more than that. I'm sure he eats more than that.
Well, sometimes he gets thrown out early because of his opinions.
Is that right? I don't know. I don't understand why. I want to know. I heard you were in the movie Concussion. I didn't even notice you there.
Yeah, it's right before Will Smith was starting that speech at the end.
I'm gonna have to watch it again. And the young lady over there looked up when you said that you had played a lawyer and said you look like a lawyer.
There you
go. She did say that Jim didn't look like one, but I said you resembled Perry Mason, and that was Paul Drake. So
he wasn't in it.
All right.
He wasn't in it. He's too busy.
That's okay. He's busy, but he could play Paul Drake. I mean, if he's Ed McMahon, he could have played Paul Drake.
Yes, he could.
The hair's a little darker, but we won't go there.
He's a flashy dresser.
I can tell he's pretty dapper. I love that hat.
He got a whole outfit of them. No doubt about it. All right, what's your thought on the Steelers?
What's my thought on the Steelers? Jim stole my thunder there. They were totally unprepared to play there. Just totally unprepared to play. My grandson and I were watching the game and watched.
He's a cute kid.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Now you got me all flustered. I lost my train of thought. You know, I don't think too well.
That's what I try to do.
Well,
you
did a very good job of it, but you're not going to get me this time.
They're saying that Tomlin's like Bausma was. Could play good, have the team pumped up for the season, have their certain schemes of plays. We had our defense, the zone defense. We had the Tampa 2 early in the year, which they got rid of.
I am so
because
sick
they had to.
Tampa. I'm so sick of hearing about Tampa 2. I've heard that since
did I revive you?
Yes, you did. Since the first press conference when they hired Tomlin, I've heard about the Tampa 2. I'm sick of hearing about it. I have no problem with Tomlin there. I do have a problem with the scheme they used.
Well, they stayed with it consistently. There were every play that they had, they were uncontesting the receivers. Not one was pressured there.
No, they
were wide open like crazy.
There was one bit of pressure at the beginning when Hargrave busted right up the middle, and I didn't see it again. I didn't see anything out of the outside linebackers. You know, the know-it-all said that they were going to have to do everything up front because if they ran around the end and the outside, Brady would just run up and throw up, and he didn't have to.
He had an easy game.
He sure did, and he made number 15 look like the best wide receiver that's ever played in the NFL.
What did he end up with yards? It was over 180? Yeah,
180. Same as the Atlanta receiver. They have the same stats.
Hope you got to hold that mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got to hold that mic up.
That'll go to our TV feed, which will be on Wednesday night.
Okay. Well, I've got a big mouth anyway, so you'll hear me anyway.
We'll cover that, but I need the mic up.
Okay. Well, I'll keep the mic up.
We're good, and I'll just bring this in when we interact.
Okay. What else you want to know about the Steelers? I thought they're going to have to make some moves. Villanueva's a free agent. You guys mentioned what happened to Hargrave in the game. It was Alex Mack. That's what happened to Hargrave. He's a phenomenal center. One more that the Cleveland Browns let walk away. Having $50 million under the cap to spend, and they let their center walk away.
Wow. It's amazing that Belichick gets the players.
Yes, he does.
And then Brady makes these receivers superstars.
Brady looks, where do you think he's going to wind up in all time as far as quarterbacks go?
Number one.
He's up there. They win. They win consistently.
Well, here's the crazy part. He's 39 years old.
He looks very good.
His arm is good. When he gets hit, he still cries, but we didn't hit him.
We only hit him once, and he had a few tears there, but I didn't hear boo-hoo-hoo.
Nah.
I knew he was going to get up and not get hit again.
He saw what was going on. He loved that defense.
I love that defense, and I also love some of the play calls. You're on the 1 yard line. You've got a 250-pound quarterback, and you can't sneak under the center and go into
he's 6'4". He could just fall right over.
He could. They would
cross the line.
I like him going under, not over, because he's big and somebody go right over, bounce and knock him back. But he wouldn't have knocked him back 7 yards like the other guy did.
No, and that's part of it. I'm not a Haley fan, like I said, and I mean that. I appreciate that this is the first year since Haley's been here that we were second in sacks, least amount of sacks.
How often do you think Ben audibilizes back there and doesn't run
90%.
Okay. And another point I wanted to make, it has nothing to do with that. You mentioned that Haley was a golfer. Belichick was not a football player either. His father was. He was a coach.
Yeah,
for
but
years.
he's shown that it doesn't matter.
Yes, he
That's
has.
what I'm saying. Our guy hasn't shown that.
Not yet. Not yet, but next year when they win the Super Bowl, he'll get all the credit. He'll get another job. He won't be able to talk to the media again, and he'll get fired again.
I like that he got all the credit for how the offense was doing and got it, but nobody offered him a job.
No, not yet. But now all the jobs that are open, they can interview since he's out of the.
Well, most of them are closed.
There's still a couple.
He'll stay here. He'll be here. He's not going anywhere. All right, let's go to your favorite. What about Pitt?
What about Pitt?
Tell me something.
What do you want to know about Pitt? We went to New York City to the Pinstripe Bowl, and
I watched that bowl game.
I went to that bowl game.
Did you?
I was there.
Wow, you are a super Pitt fan.
I rode 9 hours on a bus.
Who went with you?
My grandson and my good friend Brian Tech, who was in every Pitt game with me.
That's awesome.
It was a
It's
great
quite
time.
the legacy that you have. And what's that blog that you have? Tell the people about that.
It's on Facebook, Real Pitt Football Talk, no nonsense. It's not so nonsensical, and it's a lot more.
Sometimes there's some nonsense in there.
Oh, I've been told that before, and I just cut it out. There's a lot of history, a lot of Pitt football history out there.
Well, I like it because I've seen it since the 70s. I went to some of the games. I was at Pitt Notre Dame there. A friend of mine got tickets for me, and I was there with him and his friends.
You know, I probably have 100 or 150 ex-Pitt football players that are on that site.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you just look. I don't have a lot of members. There's a couple more sites out there.
I'm honored to be on there.
Well, I don't let everybody on there. If I don't see any connection to Pitt when you want to get on, I just cut it off.
Well, I like that. And how often do you post something on there?
I just posted something on there about 15 minutes ago. I'm on there on and off
You're
all day.
supposed to focus on Pittsburgh sports line. Look at this. What is this here?
Well,
Let's get into
February.
this.
Okay, February 1st.
I'm not playing around
Is
now.
letter of intent day. It's a big day for every college football fan
I'm
of every
familiar
team.
with it.
You are familiar with it, but how many of you people out in the audience know what LOI Day is? Anybody know what that is? There, you just blew it. See?
Go ahead, Tony.
Nobody knows what it is. So we have to let the audience know what it is.
Explain that. Educate
You
them.
want me to explain that to you?
Yeah. No, well, to them,
I'll explain it to them. From starting the 2nd of February till whatever letter of intent day is next year, every college football coach is going to hound every senior and junior that they think can play football and come to play for their school until they send their fax in or email their commitment. Now, up till now, they say this guy and that guy are going to go to Pitt, or they're going to go to Penn State, or they're
Sure.
going to go to Notre Dame. But until they send that fax to those coaches, starting at 7 a.m. on February 1st, it's not official.
wow.
Now, there's a couple lists out there. I've got a list here.
Give us a couple names.
I don't know if I'm allowed to do that, but I'm going to do it anyway because these guys haven't signed anything yet. But Paris Ford from Steel Valley is he's probably the #1 recruit out of this class that's committing to Pitt. But I missed what he said over there.
They signed him with Pitt.
Yes,
He's
is.
signing. He played
was
some
gonna say-
football, he said.
Okay, he's a 4-star recruit. They go from 1 to 5. Darian Street, whose brother Devin Street played for Pitt, is coming here supposedly. I've got a breakdown here.
Go ahead,
We've got
give us a
3 tight ends, 2 quarterbacks, 2 offensive guards, a center, 2 offensive tackles, 3 wide receivers, and a running back. Todd Sibley, who was supposed to go to Ohio State and changed his mind and decided to cast his lot with Pitt. 3-star recruit out of Ohio is going to come here. My wife gets on my case. I say Ohio instead of Ohio. But and
That's
so here,
all
this-
right. You're from the Pittsburgh area.
I most certainly am. We've got a senior transfer, Max Brown, coming
USC?
from USC that'll probably get first shot along with Thomas McVitie to play quarterback
How about
next year.
USC's quarterback? That kid is the coolest kid
That's
that I
why-
ever met. That's
that is-
why he's here.
You know, he just looks like a stone cold killer. He could be a hitman.
When they
No one
interviewed
knows.
him after the game, his excitement level was like we're talking here. I mean, I'm excited I'm talking to you, but
Boy, you should be.
yeah, he was a little less than that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But he is cool.
Now
as
I
a
know why
cucumber.
Brown's here.
That's what I said before. That's why he
I
is
co-signed
here.
that.
You did co-sign that. Did you pay for his plane ticket to come down here?
No way.
You're not allowed to do
He
that.
got
That's
the
a
money.
no-no.
He got the money.
He's got it all right.
What else do you have there?
What else do I
You
have?
had a cheat sheet, so
I
let's
did
use
have
it.
I did have a cheat sheet. Some of the people hopefully coming to Pitt are Michael Smith, a wide receiver from Vero Beach High School in Vero Beach, Florida. Jason Pinnock, a cornerback from Windsor High School in Windsor, Connecticut. Damari Mathis, a cornerback from Lakeland Senior High School in Lakeland, Florida. I think they have about 6 or 7 kids out of Florida.
That's amazing.
There a lot. Yeah, they haven't had that many kids from Florida since.
What's Narduzzi traveled down there?
Apparently, he's got his own plane that says, "Welcome to Florida. We're coming to Pittsburgh."
I like it.
Yeah, I like the fact that they're spending. They're giving them the money to recruit. They're not. They're not cutting back.
They're not holding back. That's
They
good.
are not holding back. I know we don't have an athletic director right now, but I love the chancellor. The chancellor's a people person. I didn't have a problem with the last athletic director. No, he was. He's got a good thing lined up there as far as fundraising and everything goes, and they're going in the right direction. Pitt's doing everything right now.
Well, it's good to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. I'm a Pitt fan.
And so am I.
I'm worried about their basketball team.
Their basketball team has problems, and they are many. And I'm not a basketball guy. I think
good. I'm not asking
these
you
guys over here.
I'm not asking you any questions.
And let them play.
They need to recruit from around here. That's what they need.
They have a lot of recruits.
They need to get more
recruits from around here.
I know, but they need more.
Do we have any 6'11", 280-pound
We'll
centers
find them.
that run a 4.9 40? You find one of those around here and put them in the
Smoking
middle
Jim
there.
has them on his list.
You put one of those guys around there, and they'll be okay. And a point guard, and they'll get right back up there.
I like your plan.
I like it too. I don't know anything about basketball, but I know.
All right,
works.
let's get off basketball. What else do you have with Pitt football? Anything else?
Spring ball will probably be starting the end of March. I'm looking forward to that. They lose about 16, 17 players, I believe.
Really?
Yes. The defense was a problem all year.
It reminded me of the Steelers a little bit.
Why are you picking on my Panthers? I want to know why you're picking on my Panthers.
Well, I'm a fan of watching them, but the reality of it is it's who has the ball at the end of the game.
Well, the quarterback.
Right? Am I right or wrong?
I'm not answering your question.
Am I right or wrong?
You're wrong. Because you don't know what happens if they fumble when they're at the end of the game.
That's a great point.
That's right. It could happen.
You got me.
I did get you. I tried to. Hey, I did go to a great basketball game the other day, Beaver Falls and Blackhawk.
Wow.
Blackhawk won.
Blackhawk won. Blackhawk was winning 17 or 18 points ahead. Beaver Falls came back, went up by one with 13 seconds left. Got the ball back with 4 seconds left. But Blackhawk intercepted the inbounds pass and threw up a 3 with no time left on the clock and defeated Beaver Falls by 2.
Thanks for a basketball update, Bobby. I appreciate it. You cover it all.
No, I actually sounded like I knew what I was talking about. I don't.
Well, you saw it.
I did see it.
So you report on it.
I reported on it.
No, that's good. Okay, we're trying with football. Do you have any other things you want to bring out there about the football?
I think they need to recruit a few more offensive linemen. I think they're going to lose 7 offensive linemen off this team. I mean, 2 starters, but they had a tackle, Smith, that had gotten hurt last year. He'll slide into tackle. I believe they'll move the center to left guard. That's going to take care of that side of the line. And Connor Del Tinto, I think.
What do you think the year they're going to have? What kind of year are they going to have?
I really don't see them going much better than 7-5 or 8-4, unless some of these guys on defense really make a difference.
Okay.
I mean, it was it was tough looking at them last year on defense.
There were some exciting games.
And you know what? That's the most exciting offense I've ever seen. I've been watching Pitt football in person since 1965. What's the matter? You ate everything. That burger was only 5 pounds and you finished it.
Most exciting offense Pitt had.
What are you talking about? That, you know what? You never knew what was going to happen. They scored a ton of points last year. Go ahead and throw your plate again. I'll argue with you. Go ahead. What are you going to tell me?
Get him, Bobby. Get him.
Every time they had the ball, something was going on. Go ahead, start screaming at me.
Marino, Dwight Collins, Benji Pryor.
Okay, go ahead.
Julius Dawkins.
I know. I remember all those
Fralick,
guys.
Rush Grimm. Jim Sweeney.
Yeah, they were
you
good.
said-
They were good, and there's a whole
And
bunch
you
of them
said
that.
the Pinstripe Bowl Pitt team was the most exciting offense you ever seen?
Yeah, absolutely. Game after game.
You just turned me into a Penn State fan.
You go back with your buddy from Penn State, and you go ahead and wear your blue and white, and hopefully Alan will throw you off the show. I don't want to hear it.
I'll rotate you in to replace him.
Yeah, that team was exciting to watch. They could score anytime they had the ball. And you know what? I mean, Nathan Peterman is no Dan Marino. That receiving crew was no receiving crew like that crew there. But that was all the high octane that Todd the Fraud Graham wanted.
Hey, I want to invite you back on the show another time because you got the smiling face guy here debating you.
Go ahead, debate me.
He's done. He just threw one punch out. That's it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to throw a real punch at him because I'd never get back up. I can tell you that right now. I'll debate you anytime. I know, you know what, man for man, that this team couldn't even get on the field with those guys. But that offense and that scheme was phenomenal. And you can't tell me you weren't excited when you went to those games.
He didn't watch any games.
Didn't you go to any?
He didn't watch any.
They beat Clemson, so.
They did beat Clemson, didn't they? No one else beat Clemson, did they?
No.
It's true.
Oh, that's right.
All right, what else do you got? You got the debate, you knocked them out. Well, we're
talk.
about ready to end this because I got a whole team of stuff, the guys to bring on.
These guys over here, these guys are really
They're
exciting.
sitting patiently. Look at how well behaved they are. AAU basketball is going to be coming
you know
up.
what? You
their parents are here. Their coaches are here. It's amazing.
I want to tell you guys something. Your parents ought to be proud of you because I coached a lot of baseball teams over these years, and none of my kids ever acted as good as you. Now maybe I'll get on a bus with you. We'll see how you do when you're on the bus and have to drive.
There's
for
the
35
challenge.
minutes.
There's the challenge. They travel all the time. Look at them. They're traveling.
Oh, I know. When I was a JV coach at Beaver Falls, I had to ride the bus with those kids, and nothing
How'd it
was
work
worse.
out?
I hated it.
Oh man.
How can you want to listen to
I'm
music
letting
after you got beat?
I'm letting you go. I appreciate everything you said. Firing up my man, Smoking Jim Frazier.
I wouldn't have fired him up, but he scarfed that burger down. Look at that plate. There's not even any crumbs on there.
I'm struggling at it because I got to
any
keep
mustard
talking.
or mayonnaise or nothing on that fork.
Man, I got to eat another fry. That's my last
That's all right.
one.
Just put it next to
I
Jim
got
there.
a
He'll eat it.
He bit me.
He's already got his arm on the side of your burger there.
Get out of
He's
here.
already after his burger.
Hey, thanks a lot, Bob.
Okay, thank you,
We'll
Al.
have you back again. Appreciate it.
I tell you what, there's no person on the planet that I respect more than this young lady. They'll erect a statue out here for her. I tell you what, she was on the committee of the City League Hall of Fame. When she joined the City League Hall of Fame committee, we used to get 100 people come to the City League Hall of Fame banquet. Through her leadership, last year we set a record, 678 people at the City League Hall of Fame. It's the second largest Hall of Fame in the state of Pennsylvania, only to the Dapper Dan, and it's because of Tony Allen. Come on up.
Tony, I'm honored to have you here. Smoking Jim's involved at City League Hall of Fame, Bill Neal, so I appreciate and respect what they do. So for you to get the accolades that Smoking Jim was talking about and the standing ovation from your boys here, that's an amazing honor. Now, you played basketball?
I played for Westinghouse, a Bulldog. And when I graduated from Westinghouse, I went to Duquesne University, and I made their team as a walk-on.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
Wow.
And you played all 4 years?
No, I only played there 1 year, and then I transferred to Pitt. And
What happened?
Well, I had a terrible coach at Duquesne, so I'm just going to put that out there. He was terrible, and he caused me to hate basketball because I quickly learned that it's a business when you play at the collegiate level. And so they expect you to have your academics in order, but they expect you to be in that gym every single day, 3 times a day. And so I just hated basketball as a result.
It became like work.
It became a job. And once I lost that passion for it, then I said, well, I just need to get a degree. So I transferred to Pitt, graduated from Pitt.
Wow. Did you play any basketball after that?
Not really. You know, just to pick up games and for different organizations, but nothing
still love
seriously.
basketball. That's why I'm
Absolutely.
asking.
Yeah, I got my
And you're
passion
involved
back.
in this.
Yes, I got my passion back. So I met my husband at Pitt, George Allen. He played for Pitt men's basketball. And so there was a reason why I went to Pitt.
You like the neighborhood?
Yeah, I like the neighborhood.
Well, that's pretty good. And what position did you play?
Well, I was a shooting guard. So I was a shooter, and that was back in the day when they didn't have 3-point shots. So
Sure, that was
yes,
tough.
yes, absolutely.
Well, I give you some credit then.
Thank you.
And then how'd you get involved in this gig?
Well, Dennis Boyce, who is the director for Rise High. So what actually had happened was Marvin Wright at the time was also a director. He was a Gateway person. And I knew Smoking Jim would love that.
Thanks.
So
My ear's killing me.
he had actually asked my husband to coach a team, and my husband worked weekends and in the evening, so he couldn't do it. So he said, well, my wife coaches. And so he said, okay, well, let her come out to trials. So they were having trials out in Gateway, so I went out, and Dennis Boyce and Shay Tyler and Marvin Wright, they embraced
You're
me.
dropping all the right names.
They embraced me. They gave me an opportunity, and I have to really be honest about this. I learned very quickly that I didn't know anything about basketball. And one of the first practices that I had with Dennis Boyce, he told me to shut up in front of everybody and sit down. And so,
Hold it, you want me to bring him on?
But-
Forget about it. I like you. I'm a fan of yours.
So I quickly learned to pull out a notebook and write down everything that he did, that Marvin Wright did, that Shay did. I wrote everything out, every single drill, every single
So you caught
offensive
up.
play. Yes, and they invested a lot of time in me, and they really, really helped me because I coach for the Pittsburgh Public Schools, and I'm going to tell you, it's totally different coaching for a Pittsburgh Public School versus coaching AAU. Because AAU, the players are all advanced. It's a higher level of basketball. So you may have, when you coach
You
for...
mean these guys are advanced?
They're absolutely advanced. And when you coach for a city league, you know, you have players that are beginners and intramurals and maybe now and then an advanced player, but you're competing against, when you play AAU, you're competing against other advanced players. So I learned a lot from Rise High. Rise High gave me an opportunity that other organizations didn't give me, because oftentimes they always say, well, why don't you coach girls basketball? Well, you don't ask a male why he coaches girls basketball. You don't say to that male, why don't you coach boys?
Great
but
point.
I get that all the time. And there's been numerous times where Shay or Dennis or Marvin had to come over after a game and stand there because the coach refused to shake my hand. Even my parents.
How bad did you beat them?
Well, you know, they don't want to lose to a woman.
How bad
so,
did you beat them?
You know, they got beat. But anyway, and then, you know, my parents
How did I guess that?
had to do that as well on several occasions as well. So, you know,
You're pretty tough then.
well, I'm just grateful for the opportunity. And like I said, Rise High gave me an opportunity to coach, and I'm really grateful for it.
No, that's pretty great story. Now that you took up all the time, who do you want to bring up here?
Well, let's bring up Dennis Boyce, and I'm the director of Rise High.
Tell him your name.
Dennis Boyce.
Hold that up. You gotta hold that. You gotta hold that mic up. Yeah. This is for the what's that? Yeah, I know that. But we needed to go into the studio, so Wednesday night we got TV. Again, this will be on Wednesday night, 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Verizon 32. If you didn't hear me, it's Verizon 32 everywhere in the area. So we'll go from there. Did you play any sports?
I played a little basketball, ran
Where?
course, just in high school.
Where at?
Westinghouse High School.
Whoa, all this Westinghouse. The house is back.
That's right, an 86 graduate from Westinghouse.
Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
You do anything after that?
I've actually been working for the school district for the last 22 years as an intervention counselor at the Alternative School Student Achievement Center, which is formerly Lecce.
Now that's an interesting job.
Yes, it is.
It's
a
not boring.
High stressed, high energy job. But
You
that's-
look relaxed.
Don't let them fool you.
I'm sarcastic.
I hear you. But I love what I'm doing. I've been coaching basketball for over 20 years. I had 10 years of assistant coach over at Westinghouse girls basketball.
Hold
Coach
it.
Jones.
Why'd you coach girls basketball?
Same reason why they asked, why does Coach Tony coach boys basketball?
I just had to ask. I've had friends that have coached boys and girls basketball. My dad refereed girls basketball, and they'd go to him, why are you doing it? Because this is back in the 70s. It wasn't that popular. And he'd go, they play a nice game. They know the fundamentals, and they may not be as strong, but they play a heck of a game.
Well, some of them are as strong.
Well, I'm talking then.
Okay, well, even still, even today, some of them are strong. And basketball's come a long way, girls and men's basketball, but especially girls. Like I said, I started out there 10 years at Westinghouse as assistant under Phyllis Jones, and then went over to Alderdice as assistant under Janet Davis, who between the two of them are probably in the neighborhood of about 10 to 12 city championships. Wow. So I was under some.
That's a nice neighborhood.
Yes, yes.
We just had champions on our show last year, Buddy Valinsky, the Taylor Alderdice boys. We just lucked out. Smoking Jim knows all these people. I tried 3 years to get them on my show. He was talking great about how they're going to win and do all this because of the team they have. Well, here Buddy was a friend of my dad's. So he come on our show, and it was the day that they were declared #1 in the state. So I'm honored to have Pittsburgh Sportsline and connections like that. So tell me your story.
My story is I've been coaching on the high school level for the 15 years. And then after that, I kind of got away from it because this gentleman over here at Gateway stood in the way because my son was then becoming a freshman at Gateway.
We recruit.
Where he became a two-time Whitfield championship on the basketball team.
Wow, congrats.
Thank you.
He was in the way. That's not surprising.
Well, he wasn't in the way, but once again, I had to shout Gateway for him, so we keep him involved in the show.
Well, I try to shout it down because he told me so many things 5 years ago when he was on the show, and they're not the same type of team how they were. That's all I could say.
Yeah, they've changed.
Go Gateway.
They've changed over the years, not as strong, but however, still a good powerhouse.
They still recruit.
Yeah,
they still recruit.
I won't go that far.
You're not allowed to say that.
I won't say that.
They still recruit.
All right, but I think that since then I've moved on to. I was always doing AAU basketball.
What got you interested in AAU?
My kids getting involved. That's usually the.
So as you coached your kids, you kept coaching?
Well, I got my son involved in AAU. I wasn't coaching him initially, but that's what got me intrigued about it. I got them moving on.
Well, these are hard questions that I ask.
Yeah, you keep interrupting me
because
every time I'm trying to finish my answer.
I'm a dad. That's why I'm trying to find out. We only got a few minutes for you here, Coach.
You didn't do well in school listening to the teachers, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Did you?
Yeah, I actually did very well. But I'm known as the talking machine here.
I can tell.
And I got to keep you quick because Tony took 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes. You're already through it, and I don't even have a watch on you.
I hear you. Well,
because you can talk.
Can I?
Yes.
All right. Well, we appreciate you having us here. We have our 8th grade Rise High Elite basketball team here today with us in the audience. They actually went to Nationals last year, AU Nationals in Hampton, Virginia, and they finished top 15
That's great.
in that particular age bracket.
I'll interrupt then. That's great. Congratulations.
Very proud of those young men. And this year, as me and Coach Tony were talking in the back, and I don't know if she shared with her parents yet, but I think they're going to be going to Orlando, Florida to compete for Nationals this summer.
That's amazing. Good stuff. I'm glad I let you talk for 30 seconds.
I'm glad I was able to get it in.
I got to check the time. Devin, how's our time look? Well, would you like to bring those superstars up here, and we'll gather them all around here, and I'll try to do short interviews with them because we only got 10 minutes of time left.
We'll try to get that done.
We're going to do it. I guarantee it.
We're going to do it.
Yeah, we get them all up here.
All right, come on up, guys.
I got to ask my hardest question. What's your name? Hold that mic out.
Sam.
Do you have a last name?
Bennett.
Okay, that helps because I need names. When did you start playing basketball?
Since I was young, like 4 or 5 years old.
You're young to me. All right, say 5 years old.
5 years old.
What school do you go to?
Sci-Tech.
What position do you play?
Point guard.
Do you like to shoot?
Yeah.
Do you score any points?
Yeah.
What's your highest game? You don't even know. We're passing it on.
There's a city championship game coming up.
You got a city championship game?
Yes, sir.
When?
February 1st.
All right, I'm glad you could say that. We got that in. Thank you. What's your name?
My name's Edward Daniels.
I'm glad you got it all in. When did you start playing basketball?
Probably about beginning of 6th grade.
How old were you then?
12, 11.
How old are you now?
14.
All right, so 2 years. You didn't play any basketball before that? And what position do you play?
Small forward,
You like to shoot and bang a little?
of course.
How'd I guess about that? What's your high game?
28.
How come he knows the top score he got? What happened to you?
I played for a lot of different teams, so I don't know if I'm teams.
All
We
right.
emphasize teamwork. We don't tell them how many
Yeah.
points they score.
Ah, that's right. I'm remiss on that.
Yes.
I just remember because it was. I just remember because it was. a
Every kid
championship
keeps
game.
scoring the games. I don't care what the coaches tell you. When we were at the YMCA, they'd say nobody's keeping score. Kids knew who scored, so I respect that. Keep playing.
It was
Good
just-
luck to you.
Thank you. It was only because it was a championship game. That's how I. That's how I remember.
All right, you told me the truth. Pass that mic on. What's your name?
Michael Cobridge,
Okay, and what position do you play?
shooting guard.
Shooting guard. You admitted up front. I'm not going to ask how many points you scored.
All right.
Is that okay? She corrected me. I got to go by the coach.
Yep.
When did you start playing?
6th grade.
6th grade too. And what got you interested in it? Why'd you want to play?
Because it was basketball.
All right, bring the next guy up here. Thank you. What's your name?
DeAndre Mitchell,
Thank you. And what position do you play?
point guard and shooting guard.
You know what? I think we got a team of all shooters. Everybody shoots the ball, but we don't know how many, so I like that. And when did you start playing?
In 5th grade,
5th grade. Why 5th grade? They're 6th graders.
because I just got bored with every other sport.
What other sports do you play?
I used to play,
Here, step a little closer.
I used to play football and baseball.
You used to. You just play basketball and travel.
Yes, sir.
Do you have fun?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, keep having fun and winning. Good luck in those championship games.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Pass the mic. Come on over. What's that question I'm asking everybody?
What's our name? Like what our names are?
You got it. You must do well in school. I heard all you guys are about 4.0 students. Is that true?
Yes, it is true.
Is that true?
Very true.
You're smiling. All right, it's close. 3.7. I'll take that. When did you get started in basketball?
I started playing basketball when I was in the 3rd grade.
You're advanced.
Yeah.
You got to tell me your name, though.
My name is Malik Robinson.
All right, Malik, I appreciate it. And I'm just teasing a little bit. We're having some fun. Get a little interview. These are my speed interviews with the team. So you got anything else you want to say?
Basketball is a passion, like that, and I love to play the sport.
Do you have any fun?
I have a lot of fun.
That's what I want to hear. Where's the next guy? Tell him to step up. All right, you know my question.
That's football player right
Christopher Pace.
All right, and when did you start playing basketball?
When I was 5.
Why 5?
Because they just had like workouts and stuff, and I just.
Were you always taller than everybody?
Yeah.
Is that why they put you in?
Yes.
And what position do you play?
I play forward and center.
I thought you might have some center in you.
Yeah, I do.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I like playing center.
You have fun at this?
Yes.
Do you like these guys on the team?
Yeah, I like.
You gonna win with them on this team?
Yes.
All right, that's all I need out of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And tell me the name of the team again. What's the name of your team?
Rise High Elite.
All right, and where are you located at? Somebody help him.
Throughout the city.
Where at?
Throughout the city.
Throughout the city.
Yeah.
And where are you from?
I'm from Penn Hills.
All right, I wanted that for Smoking Jim's effect. He never addresses Penn Hills. No, thanks for the interviews, guys. Anybody have anything else want to say since they're passionate and love the sport?
Let's go.
What do you want to say? Malik, give him the mic.
All right.
How much time do we got?
I just want to give a shout out to Alderdice High School.
I like that. They're playing a different. I just read an article about them. Last year they had the big scores, the Jackson brothers and everything, and we wondered how they do this year. Now they're playing gritty defense. They're taking fouls and they're doing well and they're winning.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I think it's great because I'm going there next year.
Are you?
Yeah.
What grade are you in?
I'm in 8th grade.
You guys are all 8th graders.
Yeah.
All right, how much time do we got? 5 minutes. I can find out where you're going next. Give him the mic again. Where are you going to school next year?
Central Catholic.
Oh, good for you. Hand the mic to the guy behind you. Have him step up. Step up. And where are you going to be going to school next year?
Alderdice.
All right, we got 2 Alderdice guys. Hand the mic to him. Step up.
SciTech.
Southside.
SciTech.
SciTech. Where's that at?
Oakland.
Ah, nice. Good luck to you. You know what I'm going to ask.
Going to Penn Hills High School, 9th grade.
Tell that to Smoking Jim.
Smoking Jim, I'm going to Penn Hills High School.
Thank you very much. He actually lives in Monroeville, and they're trying to recruit for Gateway, and I try to block that. I'm not for that. Now, you tell me, where are you going? Nah, never mind.
I'm going to SciTech.
2 SciTech guys, and I'll bet that's in Oakland. Well, I wish you all the best of luck, and I heard you do well in school.
Thank you.
Keep that. Like Smoking Jim believes in homeschooling, because he says if you play an athletic sport, you should focus on that 90% of the time.
Yes.
The other time you should sleep. I'm against that, because you can play sports so many years. Look at these guys in their 30s. They're telling them they're done playing football. What do they do when they get as old as me? What are they supposed to do? Start a talk show?
Maybe.
You answered the right question. You get another question. How's your grades?
My grades are good.
What does that mean? 3?
I don't know my GPA, but it's pretty high.
Give me a guess. 3.1.
I'd say about
3.2.
No.
3.3.
No.
You got to work harder.
It's higher.
Okay. He's actually advanced, so he's actually a scholar, so he's high honor roll.
Wow.
So straight A's, 1B.
Oh, I'm proud of that stuff. I'm trying to pull that out of you. You could have told me 3.99.
He's high.
Is it higher than that?
No. Not this quarter.
What about last quarter?
I had a 4.0 last quarter.
Then I was right with the 4.0 I was tossing out. Well, you could give me a little credit. Well, I'm glad I could have you on here. I wish you the best of luck in your games and that championship games that are coming up.
Thank you.
You guys are nice guys. You played along very well with me with the interviews. I'm a little bit silly at times, but I am serious about what you actually do and the hard work you put in. I respect, excuse me, the practices that you go through, the coaches that you have, and what they do in the community. Keep you out of trouble. Keep you focused on shooting the ball, since you're all shooting guards and one center here. So, I respect that.
And also, if I could just give a shout out
Hold
to...
it. Give her the mic.
If I could
Come
just
back
give a
over.
shout out to our Rise High parents that are here this evening.
Thanks for
Because
coming out.
these parents take them to every single practice, every tournament. They're there for their children. These are some amazing young men behind me, and they are a product of these wonderful parents that you see here this evening.
I'm glad I got to meet them. Thanks for introducing every one of them. It was my honor to have you guys here, and you're welcome back on again after you win the next championship. I'd like to have that, or whenever you travel and you come back, you can tell me how your experience was in Orlando, Florida, since that's a secret right now.
Thank you very much.
And this will be broadcast on Verizon 32 everywhere in the Pittsburgh area. All right, we had a great show. I'm going to end the show with Stay Joey Strong.
Hello, my name is John Bauer. I'm a paramedic supervisor with Tri-Community South EMS. I would like to tell you about hands-only CPR. If you see a teen or adult collapse, call or have someone call 911. Bare the victim's chest. Place one hand on the center of the chest and interlock both hands. Compress the chest fast and hard. Press 100 times a minute to the beat of the song Staying Alive. This will give you the correct rate for your compressions. Do this until EMS arrives. Stop CPR if you are too exhausted to continue. These 2 simple steps can double the person's chance for survival. Doing these steps can mean the difference between life and death. For more information on CPR training or our Speakers Bureau, go to tcsems.org or call 412-831-3710.